Hello, my name is DeJesus, and I'm the author of Making It and Summer Job Success. And I travel all across the country speaking to adults, speaking to young adults, speaking to educators, speaking to workforce development professionals, speaking to parents, speaking to policymakers. And I notice that there's a lot of miscommunication. In fact, there's a lot of misinformation about the value of education and what it brings. So I wanted to create this brief video for those of you using the book or using our curriculum to help you, one, better be able to break down the true value of education. Number two, to reveal the 5 things that young people need to improve their future economic opportunity. And third, I want to make sure that you understand the value of social capital and the role that social capital plays in improving young people's economic life chances. And to begin, I'm going to take you back with me about 2 weeks to Harlem, New York, when I was speaking to 150 young people. And the first thing I asked them, I was like, do you like when people mess with your money? And they looked at me and said, why are you asking that question? You're from the Bronx, right? Of course we don't. I said, well, do you like making money? They said, of course we do. So then I looked around the room and I saw this 17-year-old kid named Angel. I said, Angel, come up front for a second, right? The program told me about him. They said he was struggling with a few things. I said, Angel, what do you got in your pockets? He said, don't worry about what I have in my pocket. I said, I'll go in there and take what you got in your pockets. And then he said, we'll have a problem. And I said, we better have a problem, because anytime somebody tries to mess with your money, you should have a problem. He gave me a pound and he sat down. And he's like, that dude is from the Bronx. And I know that. And I was like, well, hold up, Angel, time out. I hope you don't think I'm talking about the cash. I'm not talking about the cash, Angel. I'm talking about something else. I'm talking about the value of your education. You see, what I can do is I can tell you how much you're going to earn over your lifetime based on the level of education you complete. You want to hear about that? And all the young people said, yeah. And I said, Angel, we're going to start with something called your RWY. That's your remaining working years. And I said, in the United States, unfortunately, most people, just to survive, have to work up until 67. So how old are you, Angel? And he said, I'm about 17. If you're 17, that means you have 50 remaining working years. And over those 50 remaining working years, what I'm going to do today, Angel, is going to tell you how much you're going to make based on how much education you complete. And I told Angel, I said, Angel and the rest of his crew, I said, if you drop out of high school, you're going to earn over those 15 years about $1,115,000. However, if you complete high school, you're going to earn about $1,525,000. That's about a $410,000 difference between dropping out of high school and completing high school. And they all looked at me like, you serious? I said, yeah, but I'm going to break that down further. I'm going to take that $410,000 and break it down per year. That's $102,500 you receive for each year you successfully complete towards your 4-year high school degree. That's like me grabbing a bag of $100,000 in cold cash and stuffing it into your chest and giving you a high five on May 30th for completing 1 year of school. How many of y'all could do that? And they said, yeah, we could do it. I said, but I'm going to break it down a little further. If I break it down per school year, if I break that down per school day, that's about $604 you earn per school day for every day you successfully complete high school over your 4 years to get that high school diploma. And I said, now I'm going to break it down a little further. I'm going to break it down per hour. And based on the number of hours in the average New York City school day, that translates into about $110 an hour. And then I looked at the crew and I said, how many of y'all had 5 or more unexcused absences in 2019? And all the hands went up. I said, wait a second. Y'all told me y'all never let anybody mess with your money. Angel came to the front of the room and told me that don't even think about messing with his money. We have a problem here. And all the young people looked at me and the adults were smiling like, yeah, hey, got him. And I said, wait a second, I know what's going on. Y'all know what the deal is. You know what's coming next. Angel, I know you did this work. All y'all did this work, right? Y'all took that 1,525,000, right? And you took that and divided over your 50 remaining working years, and you know what you got, right? You got approximately about $30,000, right? Your 4 years of high school over the remaining working years is going to give you an average salary of $30,000, and you live in New York City. You're not in our workforce program to earn $30,000 4 years outside the program. You're not here listening to me or reading the Making It book to earn $30,000 2 years after high school. You know what? And I'm not going to say anything about how much you should make. I'm just going to give you a suggestion. And I said the suggestion I want to share with you is about, if we're going to keep it real, it's about $75K. And if you read the book, you know where that number comes from, right? Because when Princeton University did a study on happiness, they found out that $75K was the amount where most people were happy, just meaning that people who earned $80, $100, $1 million really didn't get any extra value of happiness for their money. So let's start off with $75K. Now, I'm not saying don't make millions of dollars, but I'm asking you to really think about the average earnings of Americans. And it's nowhere near $75K. And if you think about the federal guidelines for poverty for a family of four in the United States, it's $24,500. So a high school education is not enough. High school education is important. Now, people at this point really expect me to go into the value of college. And I'm going to save that for another episode. But the reality is 50% of young people or more don't complete college in 6 years. College has a problem. Higher education system has a problem, and they're trying to work it out. So I'm going to break down the college numbers in the future in terms of completing a community college degree, completing a 4-year high school degree, or participating in college for 6 years and never graduating, and how you stand as opposed to a community college graduate or a 4-year graduate. We're going to get into that later. But the bottom line, Angel, is that all you guys need to know that there's something more than a high school diploma that's going to get you and your family to reach future economic opportunity. And what we're saying is that we're not concerned about getting you hired. We want to get you higher. So let's begin. Let's look at the 4 to 5 things that's going to help you achieve future economic opportunity. And the first thing is what we're going to call work experience. And that has a big payoff. And that's why you're in this job training program. That's why you're rolling in the summer job program. And in fact, we don't want you to get too much work experience. On average, we want you to get 4.4 months of work experiences per year, because if you're working all the time, you can't really focus on the other things you need to do to beat poverty, right? So 4.4 months of work experience, which is a documented history of attendance and punctuality, that is worth a 20% bump in your income over 2 years. So if you get 2 years of work experience, that means you're able to show up on time, talk about the skills you learned, and get reference letters from your supervisors. You will earn, guess what? On top of that $30,000 you got for school, right, for high school diploma, you'll earn about $6,000. Now let's continue. What else is there? Well, there's something called credentials. And here's where colleges come in, because there's a lot of many community colleges that you can go to get a credential that will lead to high growing wages. In fact, what I want you guys to do is to identify a credential that you can earn in New York City between 1 year and 2 years. Then I want you to identify a credential that you could earn in New York City from 6 months to 1 year. And then I want you to identify all the credentials that you could earn in under 6 months. Now, don't talk about it right yet. Hold that, because we're going to get back into that later. But credentials, what they do is they give you about an 18% return on your income over 2 years. So that's about $5,400. So remember, we said we're not here to get you hired. We're here to get you higher. So we're going to keep on moving. So what's after credentials? Well, then there's skills. In majority of skills that you need to be successful in the labor market, you can learn by just listening to Brother Yo Utube. They call him, his government name is really YouTube, but they have most of the skills you need. right? And for every skills that you develop, and we looked at research over 2 years, if you develop a certain amount of skills, it could have about a 7.5% increase on your salary, which is about $22,200. So we're trying to raise you up. But the most important thing that leads to future economic opportunity is what we call social capital. And let me explain why. For every gainfully employed person you have in your network, right? For every gainfully employed person that you're connected to, that you have what we call in the Making It book, is what you have a high CARDI score with, that person is worth $2,400, right? Now, social capital could have the reverse effect, right? Because some people could push you down a scale, right? So the negative social capital you have, if there's such a word, right? They could take away all this in a minute. But the more positive social capital, or the more positive connections you have to gainfully employed people, are worth about $2,400 per year in opportunities. Now, in the book, we tell you that we want you to get 6. We tell you, forget about networking, because if you're networking, you're not working. We want you to build that CARDI score with 6 gainfully employed people in your community and outside your community. And if we look at those 6 people per year, that's what? That's about $14,000 per year. That's about $14,400. So over those 2 years, that's about $28,800. So when we add up the $30,000 that you get for education, your high school, when we add up the $6,000 you get from work experience, when we add up the $5,400 you get from credentials, when we add up the $2,200 that you get for building skills and having measurable skills, and then we add up the $28,800 you get from building that social capital with 12 people, we're almost at $70,000. We said we're here to get you what? Higher, not hired. Now let me make this case about social capital and why it's so important. Because social capital, your connections, are the ones who are going to get you those good work experience assignments. They're going to get you more than flipping burgers or working in the car wash. Your social capital, the people who you are connected to, the people who you like, the people who like you, they're the ones who are going to make sure that you get those good jobs, those good opportunities to learn. Your social capital is going to be able to help you identify the credentials that lead to good paying jobs. It's so much easier to get a credential when you know somebody on the other side of the labor market who's able and willing and loving you so much that they're willing to help you put that credential to work. How many young people will I meet who have credentials but can't get a job because they don't have the social capital? Your social capital will help you identify the skills needed to be successful in the job. You're not looking at the online dictionary of occupational titles. You're learning firsthand about what those skills are to help you be successful in the labor market. And finally, your social capital will help you complete education. So if you want to go to college, you got to be around people who completed college. We see on the headlines today, the social capital is going to help you get into college. We know that. But social capital, in all research shows, a high degree of positive social capital will help you complete college. So what I want y'all to do is to circle up. And I want you to answer the following questions in group discussion. 1, why are so many young adults letting people mess with their money? Number 2, think about someone you know, a peer who never let anyone mess with their money. And I want you to talk about how did they do it. And then I want you to bring that person's name and number back to me so we can start that social capital building process. And number 3, based on that information, I want you to list what you need to do to make sure that no one messes with your money again. Hi, this is DeJesus, author Making It. A lot of good information to help our young people stay alive and free, to move up the survival scale. Please check us out. Check out the book. Stay tuned for our next video. Check out our previous videos about You Got 12 Inches. All good information for young people about what they need to achieve. Push that 6, alive and free, and always be consistent.